Hello friends, hope everybody is doing very well, and I'm very glad that you could join in for this video. Now this is going to be the first video for the series Data Analytics for Starter, and for today's video we're going to see big data overview, and we're going to understand what is big data and how that matters to be analyzed. Stay tuned and enjoy this video. Thank you. All right, so let's get started. The very fundamental thing what we're going to talk about today is big data and how this is going to be important for the analysis. We're going to take primarily three examples, one from the credit card company, another from the mobile phone company, and the third one gonna be for any of the social media which we prefer to use. Now, let us get started with one credit card company and then see what all can be done on that particular aspect. So the first situation where we have a credit card All right, so let's first see the first example, which is a credit card data. Now, for a credit card company, first, let us understand what all data can be collected. Now, we will be having the first component, which is a card ID. The second component gonna be the details of the consumers. Followed by amount which they have purchased on, or specifically which we can call spending. Also, we can track down what is the location they have made the purchase, and then finally the component gonna be called the timestamp. Now, for this example, we are just limiting the parameters to a understandable component, understandable number of parameters, so that the example does not get very big for us. Now, if at all I do have all these parameters available with me, where obviously this card ID, the amount spending, the location, and the timestamps are the singleton parameters. That means they have only one value, whereas the details of the consumer gonna be a very big set of data, which can include 20 to 30 parameters itself. Now, assuming that this particular credit card company has got 30,000 customers or consumers enrolled for their credit card or using the credit card. Now, what we're going to also understand here is these 30,000 people can have 5 days a week, and every day they're going to have 10 transactions. Now, understand this, we are actually reducing all these numbers to be comfortable for the calculation and to understand what is the scale. Now, this 10 transactions for a day for 30,000 people for 5 days a week, and then if I have to calculate how many transactions goes for a week, then I can say 30,000 multiplied by 10 transactions for 5 days, that's gonna be for a week, multiplied by 4, that's gonna be for a month, and then multiplied by 12, that's gonna be for a year. Now, if at all I have this much big data, obviously I'm gonna call this data very big data. Once again, these all numbers, whatever we see now, are actually reduced down to realize the potential of the example. Now, moving further, if at all I have this much data, what all the possibilities I can have, or rather, to be a very specific question, why should I go ahead and try to analyze this data? Let us see what are the potentials. Number one potential for me here, I can generate offers based on the spending habit. That will include where the customer is more tend to purchase, which all shops, which all locations, or which all days and everything. Those information, I can get it from my spending information, my location, and from the timestamp. Also, I can go ahead and try to detect if there is any fraud. Happening in the transaction or for that particular credit card. How do I detect that? I can easily generate one pattern based on the timestamp, based on the location, and based on the amount the customer is spending. Now using that, I can easily generate a pattern, and from this pattern, I can always go ahead and prepare some rules, which can be part of my verification rule or verification rule set. Now, once I have this verification rule set or the validation or verification rules ready, from that, I can track all the transactions, what the customers are making, and if at all I find out there are some anomalies in those transactions, I can always raise an alert. Now, this will help me in customizing the offers so that when I reach to the customer with a specific offer, the customer will feel very happy and very personalized. And at the same point of time, I can also provide some of the protection to the transactions. So this is one direction where we can always go ahead and identify or make the business more efficient. Now, going to the second example here. The second example, we are assuming this example is going to be for a mobile phone company. And let us see what all transaction data we can collect. Now, I always do have the first component, what is my identification number. I can also have the customer details. I can have the timestamp where the calls are actually happening. I can also have the duration for the call. Always I can have access to the location based on the base station information. And also I can have some component of to which number the customer is actually trying to call, or rather I can represent here as to whom. Now, once I have all this sort of informations available with me, I can very well go ahead and find out some information about the customer. Number one, the call frequency or frequency of the calls. Number one. Number two, I can also find out to which partner, or rather in that case, rival service provider the customer is actually trying to call. Now, if I have these two information, what are my benefits? What are you gonna do with that? If I identify what is the frequency of the call, I can definitely come up with some customized calling plans. That includes data or text or specific call or the duration for the calls. If at all I find out the frequency of the calls are high, but the duration of the calls are very low, I can probably go ahead and propose some per second plan to the customer. At the same point of time, if I try to find out who are the other service providers where this particular customer is actually making the call, I can go ahead and send some promotional text to the call recipients to come and join to this network so that the call is going to be free, or I can provide some of the other option. So here I get an opportunity to get more customers. So these are my possibilities. So in this example, we can see that tracking or analyzing the big data or the volume of this big, huge volume data, we can actually once again improve the business. Now, let us go ahead and take a look into the third example what we have here, which we are going to call the social media, or let us call it's a Facebook example. Now, as all of us are very active in multiple social medias, specifically Facebook or Instagram or similar platforms like that, this will be a repetition for me to explain the volume of the data which gets generated. And as most of the social media nowadays accept or allow multiple different types or different kinds of data to be uploaded and to be shared, then the volume also increases with a very high speed. Now let us see what all I can figure out from this Facebook data. First of all, what all data I can get. If at all you are a customer on Facebook, or if you are a user on Facebook, probably Facebook knows more information than you know about yourself. This can sound like a little funny or a little creepy. However, the truth is Facebook knows you more than you know Facebook. Now, I can always go ahead and generate a pattern on your online habits. Like, for example, which all post you see more? I mean time. Which all post you are actually interested to like? Which all posts you tend to share? And from all this information, I can always come forward and generate a pattern. Now, how does that gonna help me? As Facebook don't sell anything. So they are actually not a directly consumer-based business. So how does that help Facebook? If at all Facebook keep on collecting this information about you and keep on sharing with all the other people, how does that help? Facebook can always reach out to advertisers who wanted to come forward and advertise on Facebook's platform. And then I can always have a set of products which has some specific characteristics. And at the same point of time, I can also have a set of customers or users, for a matter of fact, on this platform. And for both of them, I do have my defined characteristics. Then it will not be difficult for any of us to write some simple algorithms to match the characteristics of the products and the characteristics of the customer. So what happens if at all you specifically like the post where people share the travel destination photos or a food photo or some kind of gadget photos, and then if at all I do have those kind of products listed, customize the advertisements for you, then it's gonna be very, very likely that you will click on those advertisements and probably you will be also land up in buying them. That helps and improves the customers or the advertisers of Facebook, and in turn that generate revenue for Facebook. So this is the basic example. In this 3 example, as you can see, we can actually go ahead and collect all the data possible, which are actually freely available if you are using my product or my platform. And then I can use those data to make more profitable business. So to summarize the factors, point number 1, do I need to collect information about the customers? First question. Second question, how big the data can be. And the third, how does the analysis on this data helps the business? So let us answer one by one quickly for this particular examples, whatever just we have discussed. Do I need to collect the data from my customers or about my customers? Answer gonna be always yes, because you are not spending anything extra to collect those information. For the matter of fact, storage, yes, that can be a thing, but if at all that adds value to your business and helps you to generate more revenue, storage should not be a problem. Second analysis, how big the data can be. Now, if at all I know the answer for the third question here, for what purpose I'm collecting the data, then I can actually reduce the size of the data and collect only the data which gonna be meaningful for me to make some decisions. So how big the data can be, I can decide on that. And finally, how does the analysis on this data can be helpful or can help my business? That always once again depends on your business goals. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and your learning gonna be sufficient on this particular topic. That's what I believe. And please don't forget to like this video, share this video with other fellow learners who wanted to learn as much you want. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.